1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Almost a weekend and you don't know what to do. Or you just need something fun to listen to. Southside Pod! Yes, we're on the air. And with gangs all here, all things on the South Side. Thanks for tuning in to the Southside Pod.
There are multiple holes in the walls of my kitchen. It's bad.
Intentional holes or unintentional?
Well,
Why'd you punch the hole?
He got really mad at his pizza.
You have days that you think are going to go one way, and then you're just sitting on the couch, and you're thinking to yourself, well, I guess there goes another $1,000 I didn't expect, and there goes the entire day, and there go all my plans. And my daughter looked at me.
Anyone with children, Chris.
I know. I know.
And home ownership, and you have a dog too, so that could do it.
My daughter looked at me, and first of all, we should introduce Ed to the Southside Pod listeners.
Hi.
Because that is not Mike. Mike's on vacation.
Could you have told the difference if...
No.
See, you pointed it out. Now everyone's looking
now
like...
everybody's like,
okay.
I never even noticed who the guy in the middle of them was.
Yeah. Wait, there was a guy in the middle?
Like, yeah, I mean, like that guy's inconsequential.
Can we call him Malcolm?
Yes.
Right. Anyway.
Wait, me or Mike?
I'm not sure.
Both.
Tell us more about your holes.
Yes.
But Ed does socks in the basement.
How'd you plug your holes?
Okay. So the sink was backed up, and I'm terrible at plumbing, and I tried to fix it at first. It's one of those double sinks in the kitchen, and one drain goes straight down, and then the other side comes down and kind of heads to that drain before everything leaves.
Part of me, and this is not a huge, I mean, it is a knock on you, imagines you fixing a sink just like getting a hammer and going underneath it and just hitting some
whacking
things.
Whacking
getting all the tools that you think you need that are definitely not the right tools.
I get out my toolkit.
Right.
And I lay it all out.
Right.
And I just kind of stand there for a while.
Right.
I'm like, huh.
And then you pull out the big comical wooden mallet.
Right. And I just start banging on it.
Yeah.
Damn thing won't work. No, here's
How many screwdrivers did you lose down the drain before you realized that wasn't the way to go?
I built the bar from scratch.
Yes.
I'm able to do that.
It's a dry bar.
I can do electrical work.
Okay.
I can.
Rocking.
Right. I can. I can do electrical work. I'm not worried about the holes.
For it, so.
I'm not worried about the holes because I know how to fix those. I've done this before. The only thing that I don't know how to do is plumbing. I'm terrible at it.
You just can't lay a pipe.
The problem is there's always a leak. When I put it back together again,
it's never
right.
Right, yeah.
Okay? I mean, it's always a problem. And so I already know that I have this shortcoming. But I go, I'm going to try to fix underneath the sink because the air conditioner went out at the beginning of the week and it's 110 degrees outside here in Chicago.
That's a priority.
Right. And I was like, I tried to go 2 days telling the kids that's what we have a swimming pool for. And then I was down here in this basement doing a show and the cool of the basement had disappeared. And now I was sweating in the basement.
Yeah, as you and I are doing a socks in the basement episode, I'm watching you drip.
Yeah.
When the underground gets warm.
Yeah, then it was bad. It's time
the low grade was
time to bite the bullet here.
Yeah.
And the best part was the guy that I ended up using, he didn't pick up the phone at first. He lives right around the corner. I see his truck all the time.
Because his phone was probably ringing off the hook.
Right, exactly. And what got him here was that I called him up and I said, hey, I got an appointment with Four Seasons tomorrow. I'd rather give it to the guy that lives on my block. Give me a call.
Nice.
And I got a text message from him saying, I'll be there at 8 a.m. Cancel Four Seasons. He knew he didn't want to lose the business.
Right.
But I had to say I'm going to somebody else to get him over here.
You went to the top of the list.
So $300 later, he fixed the part.
Cheap.
It was cheap. I thought it was going to be a lot worse. I thought it was going to be a lot worse. So then here comes the plumbing. I'm like, I just already paid for one repair. I'll see if I can do this myself.
Well, and it's a clog. You kind of figure a clog, you can jam that loose.
And I get the clog out of that section of pipe mostly.
Mostly.
I got the whole pipe out. There was a ton of gook in there. My daughter clearly had washed something down the sink. I could tell it was something we'd eaten a week earlier and had all these chunks. And I'm like, we don't have a garbage disposal.
Well,
don't do that.
That's a fun description.
I'm really, seriously, it was gross. And I'm like, we don't have a garbage disposal. This is what the strainer's for. You got to do that. I'm telling her that. But then I noticed that the other side is now clogged, so it's moved. And I'm like, I can't get the first thing back on again without a leak. It seems like it's not fixed. I'm calling a plumber. Plumber shows up, opens everything up, goes, oh, no, the whole clog moved. Half it moved down here. I got it out. I'm gonna go in there and, what is it called? Routing.
Sorry.
He's got one of those electric ones where he just hits a button.
I got one at home if you ever need to borrow one.
Because I have one of the ones you spin, right? because I'm cheap.
Right.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay. It's my old man's, and he gave it to me because he probably bought an electric one, so he gave me that one.
Right.
So I try that, but he goes in there and he's going along, and I'm listening to him in the other room. I don't like to stand over these guys when they're working.
Right.
But I don't like going back to work because I always have this fear, like, he's gonna rob me. Right.
Something's gonna go.
I mean, if I disappear, if I walk out of the room for too long, who knows? I don't know.
Or
who this guy
maybe
is.
like needs you to hold a flashlight for him.
Yeah, maybe that too. I think he's gonna rob me. So
Maybe he just
hold
wants
the
to see how you crank your
flashlight.
pipes.
Hold the flashlight. So I hear him in the other room just swearing up a storm. Like I'm
That's
like,
not good.
This is a bad sign when the plumber's swearing up a storm.
Yeah.
Like he sounds like me, and he's supposed to be the professional who knows how to do this, and he's clearly run into something that is.
It's always the best out when you hear the professional,
Right.
Especially the dentist.
Yeah.
When you hear
oh
that.
no!
Well, yeah.
Yeah, or the cardiologist.
God, yeah.
Or the cardiologist goes, "What am I going to do here?"
Or if you're getting a colonoscopy, that particular form of plumbing, if you hear them swearing, a lot has gone wrong.
So he comes in all of a sudden and he goes, I think I got it done. Everything seems to be flowing. I'm running the water. Everything's fine. It's $250. And I go, okay, fine. I give him my credit card and he goes, okay. And he walks out the door.
With the credit card.
As soon as he walks out the door, as soon as the door shuts,
Water everywhere.
I got to go
Bathtub
downstairs
falls from
and
upstairs. They don't even have an upstairs.
flip over the laundry. And I walk downstairs and there is a tropical rainstorm happening.
Amazing.
On the laundry side of the basement. Like, it's not just pouring from where the sink is.
Oh, you wanted me to fix that too?
It's running across.
I thought that was a water feature.
It's running across like a pipe or one of those like pipes that have electricity, in the unfinished side of the basement.
Sure, yep.
And it's just sprinkling down on all the laundry.
Nice.
And it's all the stuff that ran through the drains. It's all dirty water.
Yep.
And there's water on the floor. And I'm like, oh no. Because I knew right away what it was. I called him up and I said, hey, can you come back? He goes, I'll be right there. He had just left. And I go, okay, he's coming back, but the pipe's broken. Something's wrong when he was putting that in there. It broke. I don't know if it's his fault or if it's the pipe, but it's broken.
Right. Well,
So
it wasn't leaking like that before.
No, none of that was happening.
Right.
So something happened when he came here.
All right.
So now 10 minutes goes by, and I'm like, this guy had to be 4 blocks away when I called him. So I call him back. He goes, I'm on my way. I'll be there in like 5 minutes. I'm like, all right. 20 minutes goes by. I'm like, is he coming back?
There's now tropical birds and fauna forming
There's
in the
still
laundry room.
water dripping. I mean, it's only the leftovers of when he was running the faucet. I
Yeah.
mean, it's not like it's slowing down, right? But I'm like, when is this guy coming back? I call him again. He tells me he had to go get a sandwich.
Well, I mean, gotta eat. Plumbers gotta eat.
There's a rainstorm in my basement, Bill. It's raining in
It
my
wasn't
basement.
like that when he left.
And he went to, it was actually like that. He just never checked.
To his knowledge.
Yeah, because he didn't look.
Right.
As
He
far
even
as
told
he
me
knows.
later on, he told me, he's like, I normally go check, and I probably should have checked. I'm
Well,
sorry
you
about
think?
that. So anyway.
How was the sandwich anyway? Was it a
Anyway,
good
all
one?
right. Well, in the end, I kind of understood the sandwich thing, because when he got back, he was here for hours. Because now what he does is he goes and he goes into a cabinet. He has me remove everything that's in the cabinet, because it's like all dishes and stuff like that, lower cabinet. And he goes, that's where the leak is. And he opens up the wall. So now I have a hole, the first hole. And he's like, right away, he's like, all right, that's broken. He goes, but this other pipe that's a ventilation thing.
You think?
He goes, the problem is the ventilation pipe is rusted away after 65 years in this house. And it's not actually connected. So the sewer gas, the smell, is actually in your walls. And that needs to be reconnected. And I'm like, all right. So he pulls out the part. And when he pulls out the part, I guess there's a pipe that vents all the way through your roof. I didn't know this because I'm not a plumber.
He doesn't do plumbing.
don't do
Electricity and wood. And
I do other things. I don't
Yeah.
do plumbing. I didn't understand this at all. He pulls out the thing, and the rest of that pipe should have stayed in place, but it just falls
Oh, no.
because it's not connected to the next thing that's
Yeah.
further up. So now
Another hole?
he's got to put another hole in the wall in between the countertop and the cabinets. And he goes,
Another hole.
He goes, I'm really hoping the joint is there.
By the way, I saw these holes. You had a picture of them.
Yeah.
Why did he do it like with a hammer and not like with a sawzall where it's square where you can replace it very easily?
So I don't know.
He did not make a hole easy.
I don't think he
repair.
expected this. I don't
Okay.
think he expected it. And
Usually
he
you
didn't have
cut a
the
hole,
tools.
like you cut it like a nice square.
Yeah.
Save that piece of drywall so
Yeah, I
you
know.
can plug it right back in
No,
there.
I know. And he just hit it with a hammer.
Right.
And the problem was that it sounds like this guy was on his way out of town this weekend, was leaving work early that day, and was taking the easy jobs, and he ended up with mine. So I don't think he had everything. So there was a point where he was going to leave and come back on Monday. And I was like, you have like all this stuff out here, plus there's no ventilation, which means what if it rains and water pours through? And he told me with a straight face, that won't happen.
It won't rain or it won't come through.
I don't know.
I think he was probably counting on no rain.
But 10 minutes later, he actually stopped packing up his stuff and he looked at me and he goes, you know, man, my wife is going to hate me for this because she said I couldn't work late today. But if it rains, you're going to get a bunch of rain in your walls. Like, he admitted it right away. Like, he had told me it wasn't going to happen.
So that means he checked the weather.
And then he thought
on
to
his
himself,
phone.
like,
That's all it was.
oh no, this is, I can't lie to this
Right.
guy.
You
I'm
go to
gonna
his
ruin his house.
AccuWeather app.
Right.
Yeah.
Text his wife saying she ain't getting her sandwich tonight.
Oh, maybe.
So
It's
then
going to be a late sandwich, though.
couple hours later, we have a job that's 90% done because he ran out of actual pipe to replace all the pipes in the wall. When it's all said and done, every pipe in that section of the house is going to be brand new PVC pipe
Nice.
because everything was rotted out. And we never noticed it if it weren't for the clog. But in the end, 3 or 4 pipes were not connected in the walls.
It happens.
That's crazy to me.
Corrosion. It's that hard city water. Well, you're not really in the city, but still. Same.
No, we use Chicago water
Oh,
in
okay.
Evergreen. We actually pay for
In fact, in
Chicago
Evergreen,
water.
the water's harder.
Yeah. They do something to it. They make it harder. Our water's the hardest. This portion of Southside Pod brought to you by Tom Walsh, your Edward Jones financial advisor. He's local, experienced, down to earth, and a friend of this show. He actually helps me with my money, and he takes care of bills as well. Get to know you approach and a do the right thing attitude. That's what you're going to get from Tom. In times of financial uncertainty, how can you stay on track? You give him a call, 773-779-0023. Call somebody who is invested in your success and has been doing this for over 2 decades. Doesn't matter where you're at in life. Just starting out, getting to the end, somewhere in the middle. Stop in and see him on the corner of 111th and Kedzie. Tom Walsh, your Edward Jones financial advisor, and Edward Jones, making sense of investing, member SIPC.
It's a new addition to my family.
Really?
Oh, I saw this.
Do you have a
Yeah.
baby?
No, God, no.
Did you get another dog?
I wish. And that's a lot coming from me.
Was this a stray?
What did you get?
We have a cat.
Oh, no.
I know. I'm not a cat guy.
I'm not a cat guy.
But it started with a
Are you a cat guy?
Not
a
really,
somewhat,
but
it looked like injured stray outside our house, and my girl's like, oh, look at, there's a cat. And I was like, oh, yeah, look at, there's a cat through the window, right? Can we go on the step? Yeah, sure, go on the step. So they sat on the step. Can we pet it? I'm like, I don't know. It's a stray. Be careful.
Already you've made too many mistakes.
Let's
you
bring
should
it
have
some-
shut the curtains
I know.
and said, stay away from that thing.
It was me that said,
It's
look,
got
there's
rabies.
a cat, girls, by the
Right,
way.
That was
you're
mistake
an idiot. number one.
You're so stupid. You're almost as dumb as a guy who buys a cat for his girlfriend and later marries her. That's what I did.
well, that's yeah. This is why I limit it to when I'm driving down the road. Hey, a cow,
Yeah.
because you can't stop and put
Can't
that in the
bring
back of the
that
car.
cow.
I spent years trying to get that cat out of the house, and the first time it swiped at the baby, I said, that thing's dangerous, and gave it away.
So they bring the cat food, right? They bring him milk or water, whatever it is. The cat's finally, the next thing I know, it's in my little sunroom. Okay, whatever. We post on like all the Facebook lost pet things. No one's claiming it. Okay. We bring it into the house. I didn't bring it to the house. They bring it in the house. This cat's like a house cat. Like it's like all over the place. It's snuggling with my daughters, this and that. And all of a sudden, like the next day, like an Amazon package shows up with this $200 like cat condominium that my wife bought that I'm putting together.
She bought it?
I stayed up
Did
till
she
11
tell you
o'clock at
she was
night.
buying this?
She said she was getting a litter box for the thing. I didn't know it was a.
Now you own a cat.
It was like a Lamborghini of litter
Right,
boxes.
it's a litter box plus.
Now you own a cat.
So she took it. Well, there was some
You
lady.
poor bastard.
How early in the process did they name it?
No, we wouldn't do it. It was
Okay.
just the cat. We wouldn't do it. I made sure.
That's where you put your foot down, right? Hold on a second. You encourage them to look at the cat. You
Yeah,
told them
that
they
was
could
the
go.
only thing I encouraged them
You
to do.
told them it was okay for
The
them to
rest
go on
was
the
all
porch.
my wife.
You let them all approach the cat. You let the cat into your house, and then your wife bought a Cadillac tower for the cat.
But
But
don't
you
name
put
it.
your foot down on the name.
We ain't naming
Don't
this
name
thing.
it.
She took it to the vet.
Oh, you're strong.
It wasn't-
You're-
it
you know what
wasn't
you are?
chipped.
You know what you are? You're an oak. You're an oak. Yeah, that's how strong you are.
It wasn't chipped, but it
Unmovable.
had an injury on its tail, and it could have been bitten by a bat. I'm like, oh, it's
Oh,
great.
it's rabid.
Awesome. That's awesome. Rabies. Goes right back to what I would have told him the first time. That cat has rabies.
But they cleared up. They took like $300 to fix the
$300?
injury.
This isn't even your cat. No,
And you haven't named it.
Not yet. I mean, we did
considered,
now,
my
but-
God.
I considered leaving the holes in the pipes, and you're like, I'll spend $300 on a cat. God, if I could just be as flush as you, my friend.
No kidding.
So
Man, I wish I had $300 just to burn on
I'm
a
looking
cat.
for reasons for like to
Wait,
not have this
500,
cat.
500, 300 at the vet, 200
Looking
for
for
the
reasons.
Cadillac.
I got a 135-pound dog, and I'm like, this dog's gonna eat this cat, honey. You can't.
You
bring
can
this
only
cat,
hope that
right?
the dog will eat the cat.
So like, oh, let's let him meet. So we put him in the same sunroom. The dog goes right up to the cat, and the cat slaps the crap out of him like Will Smith slapping Chris Rock.
Yeah, that's about right.
135-pound dog cowers in fear
Yep.
of this little 4-pound kitten.
And now they're best friends. They
That
actually have a
solved that
Disney
problem because I was like,
adventure
no,
together.
the dog's going to eat it. And the kids were like, no, no, no. But now they're like, oh, see, the dog's not going to eat it. What else, Dad?
No, now the poor dog,
I know.
their dog, their pet,
Our family.
who's been with you since the beginning,
Yes.
is
Through thick
now
and thin.
getting
Second
its
fiddle.
ass
Who has a
whooped
name.
by a cat
Who has a name?
with no name.
Right. He shall not be named. But they eventually.
Your dog got its butt kicked by an NPC
And you
cat.
let it happen.
we took
you let it happen.
We took a family vote.
man's best friend.
It was 3-1. Yes.
Oh God, who voted no?
Me.
Yeah, I know. But you had already lost all the power at
I
that
was
point.
just-
Absolutely. I have no power.
You know
in
what?
the house.
As a
Your
dad,
vote
So
meant
now
nothing.
we have Bella Midnight, the cat.
Bella Midnight.
It was both their choices.
So you just combined them? Is it hyphenated?
We took a vote, and Bella won, but then the little one who wanted Midnight was crying, so I said, you can make it the middle name.
Oh my God, you're screwed.
Oh, you actually gave it your last name too?
Ed. You see, the two of us both have boys and girls.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
Right? I mean, that's the difference here. We're seeing the difference right here. We're seeing it right here. I've got one girl who's the oldest, and she's my princess, and she
Yep.
gets away with stuff because she's my princess. But the two boys will look at me and be like, really? You're letting her get away with that? Like, there's still that camaraderie. There's still other equally thinking individuals in the house. There's other men in the house.
Right.
You have the same thing in your house, right? He's surrounded.
The only alpha
He's got
has-
nothing.
true.
It's just
That's
him.
true.
He used to be him and the dog,
Right.
and they brought in an animal that beat up his
Right.
dog.
He's not even the alpha dog pet
No.
anymore.
No.
And you are
No.
not the alpha human.
Absolutely not.
No.
Me and the dog are just like, gotta ask for permission to do everything now. Like,
You're like the Delta and the Zeta.
You and the dog are just spending
Right.
time in the garage because it's the safe place.
right. And this cat meows all night. And it's not a normal meow. It sounds like a baby saying hello.
Oh,
It
no.
freaks me out.
And this cat is officially yours now.
Yeah.
There's no chance this was like a runaway cat.
I mean, it was a stray. People were like, "Oh, I saw it in the neighborhood," but this cat like is totally like housebroken. I don't know what cats like. How do you train cats, or if you do? But the thing went right into the litter box. Like, there's no issues there. It's not scratching anything. Like, I'm okay with it at this point because it's because because I have no choice, and B, it hasn't given me any reason to be like, we got to get rid of this thing now.
Right.
and
Besides
see, the spells that it came with that it was cast upon Bill
Oh my
are
gosh.
clearly taking
and
effect.
I always thought like cats like stunk. And,
They do.
but I didn't.
Because
I
they
don't smell
poop in a
it yet.
box.
Yeah, but my girls have been cleaning it incessantly.
It still
so-
stinks.
Oh,
It
that'll,
still poops in a
that
box.
won't last.
Still poops in a box.
Yeah.
And they're going to lose interest, and then you're going to have poop in a box, a stinky cat, and that gravel that they poop in all over your house. Congratulations. Should have said it had rabies.
You should have said it was a raccoon.
That'll be next. I'll have a raccoon pet next.
That's when the skunks are cute. Be careful.
Coming up on Sunday, July the 7th, the Flipside Summer Art Bazaar is coming to Tinley Park. Get out there. Another Streets Arts Alliance event. John Street's great friend of the show. Beers, burgers, and of course the bazaar. Shop small, handmade, and local while enjoying the best beverages and the tastiest burgers, over at Flipside Brewing. That's again in Tinley at 7144 183rd Street. It kicks off at 11 a.m. on Sunday, goes until 5 p.m. with home decor, local art, jewelry, self-care, the metaphysical, and unique one-of-a-kind items. There's a huge parking lot. It's all ages. There's no charge to go in and browse the Flipside Brewing Flipside Summer Art Bazaar on Sunday, July the 7th. And a quick note for you. I discovered the best hot sauce I've ever had, the greatest one on the South Side. It's made right here on the South Side. The peppers are grown in your neighborhood. And I discovered it at one of these streets artisan markets, at one of these bazaars. It's called Sid Sauce, and you can see everything they have at sidsauce.net. Check them out as well. I wanted to tell you guys about something I'm doing on one of the other shows on the EP podcast and get your thoughts on it real quick. I'm doing a co-host search on the show.
You're searching for a co-host.
Well,
permanent or like a prize to do a show?
I haven't decided.
Or a trial run?
Trial run.
Okay.
And
Trial
if it
run,
works,
okay.
I'll keep them around. Like I'm looking at it like that MTV VJ thing that was like in the
I
late
did that.
90s. You did that?
You did.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I remember that.
Were you down there with me in St. Louis?
Oh, yeah. I know. I remember you. Yeah, I remember
It was
doing
when
that.
I was. It was the first time. This is a funny story because my wife hates it. I actually met Mandy Moore when I was there, and I asked her to marry me.
That's true.
As you should.
She laughed at
Oh,
me.
yeah.
Well, as
she should. I bet you Mandy Moore regrets that right now.
Oh,
though.
yeah, I'm sure she's killing herself right now.
And
She watches
afterwards-
Southside Pod every week, and she goes, I missed out on Bill.
Missed it.
And I don't know what I said afterwards because we were there for a long time. But like, I felt bad that she laughed at me, and I was like I was like, damn, I should have said this. Like,
Yeah, you
it was
kind
it-
of
It
took
hurt.
that. You took
You
that
can
way
see
more
this
on the
now. Hold on a
chin.
second. I can see
like,
this
was
pain.
it too much? Should I have said Mandy less?
I can see this pain right here. This bothers you.
A little bit.
This
Anyway,
bothers you that you
tell me
like,
about your host.
had
though.
your moment. No, I don't want to talk about this anymore. I want to talk about this. You had your moment with Mandy Moore, and you feel like you got so close, and you miffed it.
Well, I
Is
probably
this one of
was-
the
I was
top
way too
3
forward.
things you wish you could try
Icarus
again?
flew too close to the sun.
It was too quick, too much too fast. I
Do
should have
you
taken her out.
believe there is
Well,
a
right.
path?
Yeah, you got to buy her dinner first.
Hold on a second. Do you honestly believe
Should've
there was
showed
a
her the
path
arch.
if you would have done it differently?
There's always a path. There's
That
always a
you
path.
could have gotten a date with Mandy Moore
Absolutely. There's always like some kind of
while
alternate
standing
universe.
in line to be an MTV VJ.
Sure, she could have just looked at me and said, "Wow, yeah, you know what? Let's do something out of the ordinary. Let's take a chance on
this guy.
on this kid.
This kid, this unknown kid from
Right.
Central Illinois,
Yeah, let's do this.
or as far as she knew, St. Louis, Missouri, because she didn't know where the hell you were from.
Yeah, right.
All right.
Anyway,
All right. So my question to you guys is,
Yes,
what do they call a podcast host?
a
A
spokesmodel.
PH?
I don't know. My
Like a
question to
VJ.
you
He said
is,
VJ. I thought.
Yeah.
do you have any advice, warnings, thoughts about what it's like to co-host or sit on a microphone with me?
Don't plan on talking a lot.
And you need someone to knock you down. You know what you need?
Yeah.
You need a strong female.
I do. That's what Dominic said, the 16-year-old. He's like, Dad, you got to bring in a woman, and she's got to be strong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's what you need. You need a woman that's from the neighborhood, somebody in Evergreen
Well,
Park.
they got to know that Evergreen Park for sure.
Yeah, but then she's got, because it's the EP podcast. But I mean, like, she's got to have her own thing. She can't
She's
just
got to have some moxie.
she can't just giggle in the background,
Right.
at what you do.
No.
She got to know how to handle you and how to let you have your moment, but also take the digs when you can.
Right.
You know, if we started this with Chris is going to go on a dating app, we'd have the same advice.
That's the next show.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about that on the next show. I went on to the dating
Well, good.
apps.
You can just
I
repeat
can.
this.
I went on.
I can wear a wig and ladybugs it if you want.
There you go.
Remember that movie?
That line might have worked on Mandy Moore better.
Regrets.
It's the Southside! It's the Southside! It's the Southside Pod! Thanks for listening! Thanks for tuning in to the Southside Pod!
Y'all come back now, you hear?